So the question is, where do you get your farm feed and supplies? So for a small farm, I get feed from my local feed store, which is Baystate Pet and Garden, which is near my house. And I also have Tractor Supply nearby as my backup plan for when I can't get the feed I'm looking for at the local feed store. Now, Tractor Supply is my go-to for when I want the chunky shaving. I really enjoy the chunky shavings for bedding as an option, and I can get that at Tractor Supply. Tractor Supply is also really good for certain injectable medications for your goats or chickens. Also, that's where I get my Penicillin G that I've used for my goats and my chickens. That's an antibiotic. Also, they carry vaccines, so I get my goats CDT vaccines that I do their own vaccinations for. I'm able to get that through Tractor Supply. Tractor Supply is also great for things that I need when my goats are pregnant and for their supplements like selenium, probiotic. Different types of feed buckets I'm able to get at both my local feed store as well as Tractor Supply. When it comes to hay for my goats, my local feed store has hay. Tractor Supply does not, so I do go to my local feed store for hay. However, I'm only buying usually 3 to 6 bales at a time, and usually I'm getting compressed bales so that it's easier to fit, because I just have a small shed loft for storage for hay, so I can't get a lot of hay at a time. And I only have 7 goats, so it's not like I need a ton of hay. They do eat grass, they do forage as well, so the local feed store for hay works out great for me. Now, for giving vaccines or injectable antibiotics, that is where JeffersPet.com comes into play, as well as Amazon. I'm able to get my needles, my syringes, disposable gloves, things like that. I order from JeffersPet.com, depending on what sizes they have available. And I've found Amazon to be good for getting the smaller size syringes that I need, especially for the chickens. The chickens, I'll use little insulin diabetic needles. So those little 1cc needles, I can get those off Amazon. JeffersPet.com is my go-to for the Merrick's vaccine that I get for my baby chicks. So at 1 day old, my baby chicks get Merrick's vaccinated, and I'm able to get that through Jeffers Pet. It does have to be shipped on ice. You have to pay a bit expensive of shipping because it's got to be shipped on ice and shipped quickly to get it into your refrigerator. So that's something I plan for in advance. I do find that Amazon has a better selection of different needle sizes. I do like the 3 ml Lure Lock syringes that you can get at both Jeffers Pet and Amazon. And then usually the various size needles I can get through Amazon that I can change them out with the Lure Lock syringes based on what I am getting done for vaccines or medicine at that point. Now, things like these hay bags. These hay bags are great. They have really small feed holes, and they really do help save hay, because when the goats have access to the hay in a bucket or in a trough, they just get it everywhere and waste it. So I do get these off of Amazon, and it definitely saves a lot of hay. And it not only saves the hay, but also saves on cleanup for getting rid of all that loose hay that they refuse to eat once it touches the ground. Things like hoof trimmers, I was able to get these at Tractor Supply. They also have similar ones on Amazon that you can get to trim your goat's hooves. Yeah. Things like goat minerals, I can usually find that both at my local feed store and at Tractor Supply. I try not to buy bulky bags of food or minerals, heavy items, just because of shipping costs. I try to get that stuff at the local feed store or Tractor Supply locally. I do supplement my goats with baking soda. I leave it out free choice for them. I just get a big bag of this at BJ's. More specialty items like my goat milking machine or my treadle feeder for the chickens to keep rodents out, things like that I've gotten it off Amazon. Oh, that was a big yawn. You guys are gonna be all white. You're gonna look like little ghost goats. Somebody knocked over their baking soda bowl. Bless you. Bless you. Oh my goodness. Bless you. Oh my gosh. Oh no. I spilled the baking soda. Now I'm a ghost. Brushes for goats. Got those at Tractor Supply. The goats sure do love to get brushed. Both the goats and the chickens love black oil sunflower seeds. And while you can get those at both Tractor Supply and your local feed store like Baystate Pet and Garden, my friend Tammy let me know that they're actually cheaper at Ocean State Job Lot. And so I was able to pick some up from there, and it definitely was cheaper, so shop around. You got baking soda on your face. Yeah, Miss Amelia. How about you, Nancy? Huh? My goats do wear collars. Some of the collars are dog collars from Baystate Pet and Garden. And the boys are actually wearing dog collars from the dollar store. And those are actually holding up pretty good. They're not as thick as the ones I got for the girls, but for $1, they've been holding up for about 6 months now, so I'm impressed. So my local feed store, Amazon, JeffressPet.com, and Tractor Supply, that's where I get the bulk of my farm feed and supplies. But if there's something that you're wondering where I get it from that I didn't talk about, leave it in the comments below and I'll let you know where I buy that product from. And if you haven't started your farm yet, what are you waiting for? Get your farm on. Like and subscribe. It really helps our channel out.
1, 2, 3, 4. Do you want a farm? A wicked awesome farm? Watch this channel to learn what to do. We love to farm and we'll show